Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I've got a video for you from Judge Brendel in Texas. I'll let you guys watch.
All right, I'm ready when y'all are on 23-07-0438-CBA in the matter of the marriage of Gonzalez and Gonzalez in the interest of the Gonzalez children.
I'm not sure where Miss Harkins went.
I'm here, Judge. I'm sorry.
That's all right. All right, we're here on a final hearing on the divorce in this case. First of all, do we have agreements to read into the record before we go on any contested matters?
Judge, we had circulated a final decree of divorce. Here's the issue, Judge. We believed that we had an agreement except for the child support amount. And then it was brought up that Miss Gonzalez is seeking retroactive back to the date of the petition. So that became an added issue that was brought up. So I'm happy to prove up with my client what I believe the agreed issues are, and then we can get into, I guess, the rest.
And I think we still agree on the dollar amount, correct, Ms. Harkins?
We agree on the monthly amount, yes.
Okay.
I think
when it's going to start, or when should it have started, I think it's our only issue.
Yeah, and I think another issue would be my client had agreed to spousal maintenance, and if the judge orders retroactive of $44,000, then he won't be able to do that. So I'm not going to read that into the record as an agreement because I think that will be contingent on what the judge rules on with the retro.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Harkins, and read what you believe the agreement is.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you want me to do it through testimony or just go ahead and read it?
Just read it, and then then we'll ask them through testimony
problem.
if they agree to your statement.
Yes, Your Honor. So, Judge, the parties have 2 children, and the agreement was for Miss Gonzalez to be named, the parties to be joint managing conservators, with Miss Gonzalez being the primary, to have the exclusive right to designate the children's primary residence within Atascosa and contiguous counties, and also the exclusive right to receive child support, all other independent rights and duties. Then, Judge, they agreed to a standard possession order. I think a little bit of it is tweaked based on my client's work schedule. He's a deputy, but otherwise it's mostly by the standard. And we did have an extracurricular provision, a right of first refusal provision, of course, electronic communication, but most of that's pretty standard.
All right.
And then, Judge, concerning child support, the dollar amount that we've agreed on is $1,380.52 per month. As Ms. Cutter stated, we don't have an agreement on the start date for that, or an issue of retroactive. Regarding medical insurance, my client is going to maintain medical and dental through his employer. Judge, I had mentioned the court-ordered maintenance that was agreed. I think that's tentative, but that was the initial agreement was $150 biweekly paid by my client. Then we have the parties have a mobile home. They've agreed for my client to be awarded that.
So the 150 spousal maintenance that will begin on January 1 of 6th and continue until when?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. So the agreement had been for him to pay a total of $4,200.
So $4,200 is paid.
Yes. So pay $150 biweekly until he reaches that amount.
Got it. Right. Mobile home to husband. Go ahead.
Yes. Of course, each keep their own personal effects and furniture and things in their current possession. We have, let's see, each keep their separate bank accounts. We have my Miss Gonzalez to get 50% of my client's retirement from the date of divorce, or ending at the date of divorce, from the date of marriage to the date of divorce. They'll each keep their vehicles that they currently possess. And then, Judge, I have a list of bank accounts that the parties have agreed to divide equally. And those are all with security service. And I can give you the last three of the account numbers, 072.
Well, I'll just keep it in as far as I'll just say are they all split 50-50, these bank accounts?
They are, Judge. Yes.
So if I just render the security services bank accounts split 50-50, that would cover it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then, of course, they're each keeping the debt on the vehicles they're awarded. My client the agreement was for him to take any debt that was owed on the mobile home.
Right.
And Judge, I believe that's all.
All right, Ms. Cutter, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Just a few little things. We agreed to do the loving and caring order and children's bill of rights. The summer they're going to do week on, week off.
Oh, thank you, Lee.
You're welcome. And then as far as the SPO, he's got the old SPO, the 6 to 6. However, on Thursdays he gets after school until 8.
So he's basically got the above 50-mile SPO.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else? And that was all. Those are true statements, Ms. Harkins.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Who wants to? I forgot who the petitioner is, but who wants to call their client?
Judge, Mr. Gonzalez is the petitioner, so I can go ahead and call him.
And sir, please unmute yourself and raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony that you give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Then put your hand down. Sir, what is your name?
Daniel Gonzalez.
And you are the husband and the petitioner in this case?
Yes, I am.
And also the father of the two children in this case?
Yes.
All right, you may proceed when ready, Ms. Harkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez, are you currently married to April Gonzalez?
Yes, I am.
And how many kids do you and Miss Gonzalez share together?
We have 2 children.
And do you have any other kids not with Miss Gonzalez?
No.
I want to go back to the time that you separated. We kind of need to go back in time here, and let's clarify for the judge. Is your understanding that the issue at hand right now is regarding retroactive child support?
Correct.
And Mr. Gonzalez, when did it come to your knowledge that that was an issue that we needed to address?
These past couple conversations we've had. So within,
You mean
I
like-
guess,
Go ahead.
a couple days ago, maybe.
Okay. And so I want to go back to the time you separated. The judge needs to know kind of how the separation happened and what the plan was. So do you recall when you and Miss Gonzalez separated?
Yes, it was it was the date of filing.
So July of
I think that was
2020.
July. Yeah, July of 2023. The date of filing was the date of separation.
And so at the time of the separation, describe to the judge the living arrangements.
Okay, so it's a family property. The trailer is approximately 40 to 50 feet behind my parents' residence. I moved into my parents' residence, and Miss Gonzalez stayed in the trailer with the 2 children, with my 2 children. And the arrangements were to basically just live with my parents until the completion of the divorce decree.
And the trailer, is it on your parents' land?
It's on my dad's land, yes.
Now, at the time that y'all separated, was the mobile home paid off?
Yes, it was a salvage title, which was purchased outright.
So you didn't have a mortgage payment?
No, no.
So when you and Miss Gonzalez separated, you separated physically, but did you separate your bank accounts?
No, I maintained like financial supporting of I didn't want to change anything of the for the bank account. I didn't want to move any large amounts of money just until there was an actual divorce decree. So There wouldn't be any disruption of living or payments or anything of that sort.
And tell the judge what you do for work.
I work for the Atascosa County Sheriff's Office for 11, almost 12 years now. Uh, Started in corrections, went through patrol, currently patrol supervisor as a sergeant.
What does Miss Gonzalez do for work right now?
She's currently a elementary teacher at the Pleasanton Elementary.
And at the time that you separated, was she a teacher then or no?
She was I guess a teacher's aide or maybe a paraprofessional. Believe she was teaching art at that time, unless that was after. But between then, she was a teacher's aide.
Do you remember when she became a full-time teacher?
Uh, she worked full time. I guess the distinction that she was a full time teacher's aide, and then she transitioned to a full time teacher. Yes, which
Okay.
was this past school year of August.
So during the divorce, was Miss Gonzalez going to school?
Yes.
And where was she going to school?
She was attending online school. I believe it was the University of Phoenix.
And did she graduate while the divorce was pending?
She is in line to graduate, I believe, I think this month, or the completion of her classes is this month. I don't know when her actual date of graduation is.
And what kind of degree is she obtaining?
It'll be a bachelor's of education. Believe it's childhood education, or maybe the one above that.
And so let's go back to the accounts. So I'll be honest, the situation that y'all have is a little bit confusing. So we really need to outline this for the judge. Okay. First of all,
Sure.
what bank do you and Miss Gonzalez use?
We use a security service, Federal Credit Union.
And jointly, do you have multiple accounts together?
Jointly, we share one savings account and two checking accounts
Okay,
that are joint.
I think it's important for us to discuss the last four digits of the account so that we can keep it straight. So the joint
Sure.
savings account, what are the last four digits of that?
The last four of the savings account, the joint savings account is 1000.
Okay. And then how many joint checkings do you have? Two, right?
Yes, we share two joint checking accounts, one ending in 1071, repeating 1071. The second of the shared joint checking accounts is going to be last four ending in 1072, repeating 1072.
Okay. And so are those the only joint accounts that you and Miss Gonzalez have?
Correct.
Do you also have separate accounts?
Yes.
What are the last four of your separate accounts? The last four account numbers?
I have a separate security service account. Last four is of the savings ending in 1100, and the checking last four ending in 1171.
Okay. So let's talk about at the time that you separated the plan with the money. Did you and Miss Gonzalez at that time discuss how you were going to do your finances and care for the kids?
Yes, I had mentioned that there was not going to be anything unchanged from my end until there was a finalization of the matter. So everything that we were currently paying on, was going to continue to come from the same account, and there was not going to be any change to our finances until the resolution of the matter.
So at the time of the separation, was your check going into the same account that it's still going into?
Correct. There hasn't been any change with through HR, through Addison County HR yet to
The
get it
account that
switched
the
over.
check goes, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So there hasn't been any change to uh the deposit where my check is being deposited to.
Uh, does Miss Gonzalez have access to that account?
Yes, it's the joint checking account of 1072.
And where does Miss Gonzalez's paycheck go into?
It is also deposited in the joint checking account of 1072.
Now, out of this account ending in 1072, do y'all pay bills out of that?
Occasionally, there are a few that are automatically paid through that account. The rest of the bills are usually transferred into other accounts, or they're transferred into our separate accounts.
So that then begins the confusing part, which is that after your checks are deposited, do you both then transfer various amounts to other accounts?
Correct. We use the money as needed.
So in the bank account ending in 1071, is that a checking?
Yes,
Okay. Who primarily uses that account?
April
And so tell the
Gonzalez.
judge, and we'll get through month to month, but tell the judge in general what you've always done when you get your check uh, every month since the divorce started, in general.
Okay. Yeah, usually so I'll get paid and I'll designate or I'll set aside whatever money I need to use for payments, credit card payments, bills, vehicle payments, etc. So I'll set that aside and then I leave the rest in the account to use as needed. And we'll me and April will coordinate as to what bills we have upcoming, what payments we have upcoming, and we'll designate the finances for that.
So is it correct that you and Miss Gonzalez talk every month about the finances?
Yeah, we talk consistently, pretty regularly, about what payments we need to pay or anything upcoming, and we'll get it taken care of.
So out of the account where the checks go, which is 1072, who does the transferring out to the other checking 1071?
So whenever the check is deposited into the 1072, it's transferred to the 1071 by Miss Gonzalez, which is the account that she primarily uses.
So Miss Gonzalez was the one transferring money from 1072 into 1071?
Correct. I didn't make any transfers into that account.
And to your knowledge, was she just transferring her check or was she transferring whatever was needed that month?
It was whatever was needed. So a lot of times it would be right after I get paid, which you'd be able to tell from the bank statements. Day after, like we get paid on Fridays, so usually after a Friday, money will be deposited into that account from the 1072
Would you
account.
also text Miss Gonzalez a timeline of when you expected to be getting your check so she knew when it was coming?
Yes, I would give her every year we get a form that has our pay periods listed out, and I usually send her a copy of that. Um, or she knows my pay schedule by now, so it's every other Friday.
And were there ever any months, it's been a long time since July of 2023. Do you recall any months where you just took your whole check and did not let Miss Gonzalez have access to it?
No, no, I never did that.
Did you and Miss Gonzalez also text about things the kids needed?
Yes.
What kind of things would y'all discuss?
We would discuss any school supplies, shoes, clothing, Christmas presents, uh, pretty much all the kind of normal things you would kind of be buying a child, clothes, shoes, Crocs. I think there is even, ballet fees. So we would talk about all of those things and we would coordinate payment for that from whatever we had available.
And so, Let me ask you, were you ever asked to go to court for temporary orders on this case?
No,
Were
no.
you ever asked to pay temporary child support in this case?
No.
And why did you think that was? What was your understanding?
My understanding was that I was going to be, there was no change in our financial situation. So I thought that that's why that I didn't have any type of temporary order or temporary child support order. Because there has not been any change in our finances or in the way the way my check's been deposited, or she's had full access to it. Um, from my time starting with Atascosa County till now, which has been, to 11, 12 years. There hasn't been any changes with that.
Were you surprised to learn that she was asking for retroactive support now?
Yes, I was very surprised.
Of course, we have agreed in the decree to a child support amount of about 1,300 a month based on your current pay, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Was that the pay that that's based on? Was that what you were making in July of 2023 when this case started?
No, since then I think we got like maybe a 5% raise with the county like last year, year before that. And then this year, uh, January 1st of 2025, I was promoted to sergeant. So my pay rate increased, which, was not significantly higher, but more than what it was in 2023.
And was Ms. Gonzalez aware of the pay increase?
Yes, she was there, and she was aware of the pay increase.
Now, if the judge were to order retroactive support back to the date of the petition, let's say that's going to be over 40,000, what would that do to you financially?
Oh, I mean, that's more than half of my annual salary. So there would be, I mean, I would have really no future of purchase of owning my own home, or buying my own property. Um, uh, I would be financially devastated for sure.
Just to guess what your support amount would have been back in 2023, let's say, let's just guess it was 1,000 a month. Between then and now, do you feel that Miss Gonzalez has received that amount at least from you for every month that y'all have been separated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I co-signed on a vehicle that she wanted to get since after we filed. I co-signed all that, and I helped her. I mean, she takes money as needed from the account, and I don't have any issues with that. Until, like I said, until the matters come to resolution. But she's received everything she's needed from the account, and I've even if I had to work extra, then, to pay for something or to purchase something, then for groceries or whatever that may be, then that was done.
So, you're testifying that she received everything she needed, but in your opinion, did she receive at least 1,000 from you a month?
Yes.
Did you ever differentiate with her? This is for the house. This is for the kids. This is for groceries.
No, no.
Do you have text messages from her where she would let you know that her check was depleted completely from school and her car payment alone?
I would object to leading at
Yes.
this point.
Sustained. Re-ask your question.
Let's talk about her school. Was she paying for the school on her own?
She, as far as I know, I believe she took out a loan for that. So she was using the loan to pay for it. And there were times where she needed to make payments to, I guess, to the loan I guess, to sign up for her next classes, which I gladly gave her those whatever money she needed to make those payments.
So you're saying that you gave her money for school?
Yes, I did.
Now, regarding the bank statements, I know we already covered that you said you did not make any large deposits or transfers. So typically, explain where you would get your income, what you needed to pay your own bills. What account would you get that out of?
I would transfer it out of the 1072 account, which is the joint checking account where my check is deposited into. So I'll transfer it out into a personal account.
Okay. One of the personal accounts you just named.
It is going to be account ending in a security service account ending in 1171. So that's where I'll transfer money to whenever I was going to use it for something or to make a Amazon purchase or online purchase or for a restaurant or something.
So, Mr. Gonzalez, have you been able to review all of the bank statements back from pretty close to the date of the separation?
Yeah, I can go back as far as 2 years online. So that's kind of where more or less I've gone back to.
And so, in reviewing those, did you ever see a month where you just did not give April the money that she needed to support the household?
No, she was always given every month she's been given the money that she's needed to maintain financial responsibility and all of her things that she's needed.
So, if in hindsight, if we had gone for temporary orders and the judge had ordered you to pay temporary child support, would you have kept this banking situation the same?
Absolutely not. I would have changed my check to be deposited into a separate account so that way I can set aside that money that needed to be given to her. If I would have known that this was going to be an issue, I would have done that a long time ago to prevent this situation. If I would have known, but I mean, here we are. So I didn't change anything. I didn't move any money, any large amounts of money. And she had access to all of my paychecks as she needed them, and I didn't have an issue with that.
And obviously, I mentioned to the judge that in the decree, you and Ms. Gonzalez had agreed to some spousal maintenance per month, right?
Yes, 150 biweekly for approximately a year.
And how is that agreement affected by any kind of retro support that the judge may order?
Uh, I I don't know what would be left of my check after retroactive child support.
I guess,
I don't know. I make what 2,000 biweekly, so 4,000 a month, so 1,300 plus 150 or plus 300 is around close to 40% of my monthly income, and I don't know how much retroactive child support would be needed per month, but that wouldn't leave much.
so those figures you gave, is that gross or net?
Net 4,000 is net income.
Net. Okay. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Go ahead, Ms. Cutter.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, the last statement that y'all have from security service ended November 15th, correct?
Correct.
And you testified under oath that you've been giving her at least $1,000 a month every month since you filed for divorce, correct?
Correct.
And if we look at that statement covering October 16th to November 15th, you were paid $4,258.91. Would you agree with that?
Let me verify. So I have two deposits from Atascosa County payroll. One in the amount of 1,995 and 26 cents. The other 2,263 and 65 cents. And I haven't let me calculate that so I can give you a correct answer.
I'd submit to you that those two numbers add up to.
Okay. I just wanted to I wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving you wrong information.
And April now makes a lot more than she made when y'all first filed, but that month she received $2,122.04, correct?
Yes.
And if you add up the transfers to that 7-1 account, the 1071, not the 1171, because that's your separate one, the 1071, April only transferred $1,885, so she didn't even transfer her full paycheck. Isn't that true?
I see a transfer of the amount of 700, 300, 1072. There is 200 and $800 transfer, $150 transfer, $50 transfer. And these are to the account from 1072. So if you want me to total those numbers up, I can.
We're talking about the transfers that start on 11/7 and they go to 11/13, correct?
So if you're looking at the it's going to be on pay. Do you have the do
Page
you have
two.
it pulled up?
Page 2.
Yeah. So page 2. So you're going to start from page 1. It's going to be transfer from A Gonzalez. It's going to be the first one you're going to look at is going to be the 1024, dated 1024, the amount of $700. It's going to be transferred from D Gonzalez checking 1072. And you're going to continue. So all the ones ending in 1072 are transferred from the 1072 account. So that's starting at 1024. And I got paid that day.
So hang on, let me ask
1025,
you
the
another
amount of
question.
One at a time,
$300.
one at a time, please.
Let me ask the next question, please, sir. You'd agree
Okay.
that there was one on 1024 for 700, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then I'm going to just read them. 200, 800, 150, $250, a $60, a 500, a 25, and a 50, right?
Correct. Then those were deposited into Ms. Gonzalez's account.
Okay, and those
And there was
actually,
also a $300 account.
a $300 one, where's that at?
1025, mobile transferred from D Gonzalez checking 1072.
Okay. So even with all of that, that doesn't come anywhere close to $1,000 additional from her check, does it?
Well, 700 and 300 from 1024 and 1025 is 1,000. Just from those 2 days alone. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more after that, which total I can total them, but more or less it's going to be around less than 2,000. So there's a total of about 3,000 that month, which was transferred into that account, which was more than what she made in her check.
Well, they total 2,885, and then if you take out her 21/22/04, 762, that's what she got.
Right. So if we total these
Thank you.
numbers,
Yes.
I'll do that and we'll just simplify that. So 700 from 1024 plus 300 from 1025 plus 200 from 11/7
You don't have to tell the dates
plus,
if you can just add it up and tell me if you
okay,
get the same number, please.
sure, 800, 150, 50, 50, 60, plus 500
I'm sorry, what was that last amount?
plus 500 plus 25 plus 50 plus 99.
Well, the 99 is not, that comes from her savings, isn't it?
No, it says 1113 99 mobile transfer transferred from, yeah, that you are correct. Yeah, that's I was mistaken. So not the 99.
And what total do you
So
get?
I got 2,825. Is that what you have?
2,825, and then if we subtract her paycheck, which was the
Yeah.
21, 22, 04. She got $700 last month, 702.96. You
And
agree?
that amount was
Just,
deposited 11/10. So the transactions, I don't know if you're wanting to include the transactions
I'm
before
just asking if
11/10,
you agree with the math, sir.
uh, which was the difference between her check and the amount that was deposited, which
Yes.
was
28.
a fluctuation from before she was paid and after she was paid.
I think, let me just
Yes,
clarify
yeah, I
the
do agree with
question.
those.
Basically, all that math comes out to the fact that she deposited some $2,000 in change. She took out some $2,800 in change. So basically what we're getting to is about $700 of that money that she took out was over and above what she got paid. So in theory, that was your
Mm,
money that she got. Is that, do you
right,
agree?
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that is just as to that snapshot for that time period. I'm trying to say that she might have other
Right.
things might have happened in other months, but that for that snapshot, that's true, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Cutter.
Thank you. You also testified that you've never moved money out of that 1071 account. Do you recall that?
1071.
Do you recall testifying that you've never taken money out of the account that she uses?
I said deposited. I don't really deposit money into that account.
Okay, but you actually took money out, for example, in this month, or this statement, you took money out on the 18th to your 1171 checking, correct?
Yes.
So really, she got even less. Isn't that true?
Then yeah, I do take money if there's a negative balance or if we need to pay something.
Okay, and y'all have been married over 12 years now, is that right?
Yes.
And in her counter petition that she filed back in 2023, she asked the court to give her spousal maintenance, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, she's told you multiple times over the years that she can't get an apartment or move out or do anything without some support. Do you recall that?
Yes. And I've
And
given her consent to stay in the trailer for as long as she's needed in a reasonable amount of time.
okay, well, you can see why she wouldn't want to stay 40 or 50 feet from her ex-in-laws and her ex-husband, though, right?
Yeah, understandable.
Okay, and when you filed for divorce, she was only working part-time, wasn't she?
I don't recall. I think she was a full-time teacher's aide. I don't know for sure. In
And she was
2023.
and she was making $800 a month. Do you recall that?
Uh, yeah, that sounds about right.
And then finally she got increased to just over $1,000 a month. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And only, well, in fact, this is the first pay period, this last bank statement where she's gotten over 2,000. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And isn't it also true that you work side jobs, that you're able to do that because you're a sheriff's deputy?
Yes.
Okay. And your kiddos, they're in extracurriculars, right?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. What extracurriculars are they in?
Currently, uh, only my daughter is in extracurricular, which is ballet.
Okay. But they do cheer and other things throughout the year, don't they?
She has in the past done cheer. Yes.
Okay. And at your parents' house where you live, you don't pay any rent, do you?
No.
And you don't pay for utilities or anything like that, do you?
No.
And would you agree with me that you haven't been exercising your Thursday periods of possession?
Uh, well, it gets kind of complicated because my schedule is I'm not off every Thursday. So on the days that I'm off, I see them, yes.
When's the last time you've exercised a Thursday?
A Thursday. Uh, Thursday I was off.
I can't hear.
The fourth last December.
And did you get them after school that day?
Hang
I have to
on,
check. Pick,
Daniel. It looks like your internet service is lagging a little bit. Is there a better spot in your house where you can get better internet service? All right, you're kind of back. You are frozen and your voice is glitching. But let's try it again. Can you re-answer
okay.
that question?
Okay.
Yes. Did you?
I don't know. When
Yeah, we dropped him. I'm gonna take a short potty break. We'll be back and as soon as he gets back.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'm back, and we'll wait if anybody else is using the restroom. We'll wait for them to get back too.
Okay, Judge, and if I could just remind, and I'm sure Ms. Cutter remembers this, Ms. Daniel, if you can just wait until she finishes her question. Don't speak over each other because Zoom cuts everybody out, and I can't get an accurate record if y'all speak over each other. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and it makes it more difficult when you're on Zoom because there's always a little bit of a lag, so it doesn't happen as naturally. You can't really tell when somebody's done speaking. So usually just give it a second after the question and then answer.
Okay, thank you. A lot different than district court, that's for sure.
Well, it's just Zoom, so it just causes the delay. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Carter, we're back on the record. Let me see, is April back?
Yes.
All right, everyone's back. Ms. Carter, you may proceed with your cross-examination when ready.
Thank you. Sir, you said that last Thursday, the 4th, you had the children, right?
I'd have to check. I don't remember.
Okay.
I usually when I'm off, that's what I do. So I'd have to check.
Okay. Have you ever taken them to school?
Yes, I take my son to school occasionally when he spends the night and wants me to take him.
Okay. And actually, last Thursday, the only reason you saw your son is because he went and woke you up around 8 p.m. Isn't that true?
Mm, yeah, I mean it's possible. Yeah, like I said, I don't remember the exact date, but he does frequently wake me up.
And isn't it true that you tell them, well, it's your job to create a relationship with me so you can come over if you want to watch the Spurs game or do something, but you're not regularly exercising your possession?
Judge, I'm going to object to this whole line of questioning. We're not litigating conservatorship, visitation. My client's not even saying that he has had the kids 50% of the time, so I don't see the relevance.
May I
Ms. Carter,
respond?
what's the relevance?
Yes, Your Honor. It goes to additional factors for the court to consider under 154.123. I mean, not only has she not been receiving what she should be receiving more than that because of he's not exercising. But I can move on as well.
All right, I will overrule the objection. You may continue with the line of questioning, but I sort of agree with Ms. Harkins. You're not making a lot of hay with it.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to move on from that. Mr. Gonzalez, April has also asked you, well, she's asked you for extra help and extra money so that she could go and have or pay an attorney to go and have a hearing. Is that true?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
She's told you she needed help hiring and maintaining having a lawyer, right?
She told me at one point her sisters paid for her attorney. After that, the regarding your payment, how you're being paid, I have no idea.
Okay. And I believe this was in the record, but I want to make sure. The dollar amount based on the wages or the earnings that you gave us came out to $1,380.52 for 2 children, giving you credit for medical support that you cover them on at a 25% rate. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the number that you said? Repeat it one more time.
$1,380.52.
Yes, that's the one I wrote down.
And you'd agree with me that it's been, well, now it's been 30 months since you filed for divorce.
Yes.
Okay. So if we do the math, and take 1380.52 times 30 months, you'd also agree with me that that comes out to $41,415.60.
Yeah.
And would you agree with me that you paying that back pay would help your children tremendously so mom could get an apartment and they can have a place that's safe for them to stay?
Well, they do have a place that's safe for them to stay.
Well, you filed for divorce after April found out that you were having another affair, right?
No.
Okay. All right, I passed the witness.
Mr. Gonzalez, first of all, I know Ms. Cutter brought up attorney's fees, April's need for that. When is the last time you've paid me? Do you even know?
I paid you upfront at the date of filing, more or less,
Well,
and
now, obviously this has gone on longer, so are you both in need of attorney's fees, do you think?
yes.
Now, let's talk about the bank statements because the little time that I've had these to go through them, I wanted to go over some differences. So, when did you say that Miss Gonzalez started her full-time elementary school teaching job?
This school year, so August of 25.
So Miss Cutter only talked to you about the November bank statement regarding how much Miss Gonzalez got extra, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair snapshot of the remainder months since the time of separation?
No, I mean it's probably fluctuated more, I mean on other months. So
Did things change at all when she got her job, her higher paying job financially between the two of you?
um maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean I haven't I still have the same amount of payments. So I pay the things that I have to pay, and that hasn't really changed for me on my end. So whether she's taken on more debt or if she's been transferring it off, I don't know. But we've still been maintaining what we have.
I think I'm confused about something. There's conversation about what has been transferred into 1071 from 1072, right?
Hmm.
But doesn't Miss Gonzalez, or does she have access to 1072, full access?
Yes, she has full access to it.
So do you and her talk before she transfers money over about the amounts?
We usually talk about stuff that we need to pay. Yeah, so it's pretty common that we talk about, hey, I have this payment coming up, and she'll notify me of stuff that she has to pay, and um, she'll usually notify me.
I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Cutter?
No further questions. Actually, strike that. I do. Sir, were you a resident of Atascosa County 6 months prior to filing for divorce?
Yes,
And are you and Mrs. Gonzalez asking for a divorce due to irreconcilable differences, meaning you can't get along?
yes,
Is there any chance of reconciliation?
no,
In April, she's not pregnant or expecting, is she?
no,
And are there any other children born or adopted during the marriage aside from the two we've talked about today?
no,
Are either of you currently in bankruptcy?
no,
And are you asking that once we're done with this hearing, the court grant your divorce today?
yes.
Okay, no further questions.
No questions, Judge.
All right, Ms. Harkins, you may call your next witness.
I have no further witnesses, Judge.
Do you rest?
I rest, Judge.
Ms. Cutter, do you have any witnesses to call?
Yes, very briefly, my client, please, April Gonzalez.
All right, ma'am, please raise your hand. Don't forget to unmute yourself. Do you solemnly swear the testimony that you give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
May put your hand down. Ma'am, what is your name?
April Gonzalez.
And are you the wife in this case?
Yes.
The respondent and counter petitioner?
Yes.
And you're also the mother of the children?
Yes.
All right, you may proceed when ready, Ms. Cutter.
Thank you. April, have you told your husband that you need more to live on for you and the kids throughout the pendency of this divorce?
I have.
And do you agree with me that he is financially controlling?
I do agree.
And he testified that he was giving you, well, he testified when his lawyer asked him, he was giving you at least $1,000 every month. Is that did that happen?
I'm not sure on the exact amount. What would happen is he would pull out whatever he needs, and then whatever was left, depending on the circumstances, what I would have to work with for the remainder of the month until he got paid again or I got paid.
Okay. And he's mentioned that you could just stay on that trailer. Do you think that's in your kid's best interest?
I don't think so.
Okay. My next question is, why not?
Well, every time he leaves, because we're so close in proximity that the kids, they look forward to that time with him, and every time he leaves or doesn't come, I have to help them realize that he doesn't live with us, and they think that they have that hope that, well, maybe he will because he lives so close to us, and he comes and goes when he wants to, and living there, it's hurtful for all three of us, especially our children. Our children are the ones that hurt more because they look forward to seeing him all the time, and sorry.
Listen to my next question, please. And I don't want you to go into detail, but is he exercising a consistent possession schedule like the one he requested in the divorce decree that you guys have agreed to?
No.
Okay. And so that's more time that you have to feed them, clothe them.
Objection leading, Judge.
Sustain.
Okay. Does that prevent you from getting maybe a second job?
100%.
Okay. And how much were you working when he filed for divorce?
When we first filed divorce, I was a part-time employee at Pleasanton ISD. I worked from 9 to 12.
Okay. And how much on average were you making a month?
About 800.
And is it fair to say he makes 5 times what you were making at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And have you been in school during the divorce as well?
Yes.
Okay. So that you could earn more money?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you go full time?
I finished off that year. So last year, in August 23 is when I became full time. No, not last. Yeah. Last year. Last year is whenever I became full time. So 24.
Okay. And when you were full time, what were you receiving a month? In pay?
About 1,000, maybe a little over 1,000. I think it was roughly like 1,022, like $1,000.22.
Okay. And you just now got a pay increase this August, right?
Yes.
Okay. And are you asking the court to award you retroactive child support?
Yes.
Okay. And we had it, and you wanted spousal maintenance while this divorce was pending as well, right?
Yes.
So would you like the court to take that into consideration?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking for a name change?
No.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Let me, I'm not sure if we got the divorce proof up done. Did anybody do the questions for the divorce prove up?
Ms. Cutter did for the most part.
I think Megan got the initial part when she started with her client, and then I got everything except for the name change.
She did
Just-
the residence and all that in support of me.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honor. Ms. Gonzalez, just briefly, so obviously you're currently living in the trailer on my client's parents' property, right?
Correct.
So there's no rent there, is there, for you?
No.
There's no water or sewage either, right?
No.
So but you do pay the electric bill?
Yes.
Okay. So during the pendency of this divorce, my client, Mr. Gonzalez, did agree to move out of that home, right?
Yes.
And move in with his parents.
Yes.
And I mean, I think you already know he does not want to remain with his parents indefinitely, right?
Correct.
So his goal also is to move, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, regarding the account, is it correct that you have access to the checking ending in 1072?
Yes.
And you have access to the account ending in 1071?
Yes.
Ms. Cutter asked you about, temporary spousal support. Do you agree with me that you never set this matter for court for us to come and have the judge order temporary spousal support, right?
Objection to relevance.
Overruled. Please answer the question.
What was it? A question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, did you ever send us notice and bring us to court to have the judge rule on whether Daniel should be paying temporary spousal support to you?
I never asked for court. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, did we ever come to court on that?
No.
And did you ever set it for court for the judge to rule on temporary child support?
No.
And do you think, Ms. Gonzalez, that if the judge had ordered Daniel to pay temporary spousal support and child support, that he would have agreed to keep the bank accounts as they are?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled. I'll allow it.
So if we had agreed to pay child support, you're asking if he would pay it willingly? Is that the question?
No, I'll rephrase. If we had come to court and the judge had ordered him to pay temporary child support and temporary spousal maintenance, do you think that Daniel would have agreed to continue to also just keep the accounts the way they currently are? With
No.
free access to all the money?
No.
Because then that would be paying way over his current amount that we've agreed to, right?
Possibly.
Well, you nodded yes. I saw a nod there. So, and I have numerous text messages, Ms. Gonzalez, where you're telling him about expenses or you're agreeing with him about who's paying what bill and hey, we're going to pay this out of that account. The kids have cheerleading, right?
Objected. Strike that.
The
withdraw my
two of you, sorry, Lee. The two of you would text each other about your finances all the time, didn't you?
We did communicate on our finances, yes.
And you would also let him know, hey, the kids need this, they need a haircut, they need school supplies, they need the fee entry for cheer. You would send him things like that, right?
We would communicate, and whether that money was from his check or mine, it was just kind of like, hey, Zachary needs a haircut. Are you off to take him? It was those kind of lines, not I need money for a haircut. It was, are you available on your day off to take him? And he would say, no, I'm not, or yes, I am. Those are the conversation.
You need to look back at those because there's a lot of conversation about the cost of those things. And do you remember when you would text him and say, my schooling and my car payment ate up my whole check?
What
Hold on,
objection? Sorry.
Go ahead, Ms.
Counsel
Cutter.
testifying.
I didn't hear it, Judge. I'm sorry.
I object to you testifying. I object to the form of the question.
We ask your question. Sustained. We ask your question, Ms. Harkins.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you, Ms. Gonzalez, remember texting my client and telling him that your check was fully eaten up by your school expense and your car payment?
Yes, there was conversations like that where all of my check went to school and my car payment.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Cutter?
Very, very briefly. Is it true that you were afraid of Daniel? And if you went to court, you were afraid of how he would react?
Judge, object to the
Yes.
reference and
It's overruled. She's trying to lay the foundation why she didn't come back and ask for child support and spousal support. I'm guessing that was the gist of your question, Ms. Cutter.
Yes, Your Honor. Is it also true that you couldn't afford to pay me to go into court and have a temporary orders hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And is it true that you were afraid to transfer money out of that joint account because he would get mad at you?
There were times, yes, because if I had an expense, I never mentioned that it was for school or sometimes for little things like groceries. If it had to do with me, just because I knew he wouldn't like that, I had to always say, we need this because sometimes he would say, oh, well, I don't know, we'll see, we'll figure it out. But I didn't really like to ask him for money. I didn't really like to ask him. So the days that I would send him text messages of the expenses, it was always through text. That way I wouldn't have to ask him in person because he can be intimidating, and I didn't feel comfortable that way. So I would let him know, that way he wouldn't get mad. So I listed everything that I needed and all the prices so that he would know exactly what it was and he wouldn't think that I was just spending just to spend.
Okay. Is it also true that for a long period of time while the divorce was pending that you were hoping that he'd come back and you two would reconcile?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Can I redirect, Ms. Harkins?
no, Your Honor.
All right. Any other witnesses, Ms. Cutter?
No, sir, I rest.
All right. Anything in rebuttal, Ms. Harkins?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to recall my client, Daniel Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, let me remind you that you remain under oath to tell the truth, and you may proceed when ready, Ms. Harkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez, were you listening to your wife's testimony?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall in your wife's counter petition, did she plead that you have treated her cruelly during the duration of your marriage?
No.
And do you recall if she asked for temporary, we call them interim attorney's fees in her counter petition?
No, I don't believe she did.
And did you hear your wife testify that she's afraid of you?
Yes, I heard her say she was afraid of me.
Okay, unfortunately, we're gonna have to get into that. So a lot of times when you see the kids, Mr. Gonzalez, where do you see them?
I'll see them at the trailer at where they live. Either they'll be running around outside my parents' house playing. They'll come wake me up if I work that night. Or my son will call me and ask me to go over and play with him, and which I will do.
And so during the pendency of this divorce, have you spent significant time around Miss Gonzalez?
Yes.
Has she ever indicated to you that she was afraid of you?
No, never.
In fact, recently, what was her demeanor towards you when you last saw her?
Uh,
Judge, relevance and mischaracterization of the witness's testimony. She testified that she was afraid to ask him about money and finances.
I'll allow the question. Overruled. I guess you might need to re-ask it if we forgot what it was.
Yeah, Mr. Gonzalez, what was her demeanor to you recently when you saw her?
it was which was yesterday. She was sad and I guess she wanted a hug from me, so I gave her a hug. And that was pretty much the extent of our interaction, and then I left.
What was your thought process when you heard her testify that she's been afraid to ask you for money?
Surprised because there's a lot of times where she would ask that she wanted, I think, headphones one time, and I said, yeah, sure. I mean, go ahead and, I know you've been waiting a long time to get them, so, buy them. So I've consistently been, forthcoming with things that she's wanted or things that she's been wanting to get, even, like, for like the small things, like I said, headphones. Um, so it was kind of surprising that I heard that.
What about like cosmetic things that she wanted?
Yeah, I mean, she'll get her nails done, and she'll take my daughter, and I don't have any issues with her doing that, and she usually goes on the days that I get paid.
I mean, does she mention those things to you in text?
Yeah, she'll mention that she's gonna go get her nails done, and and she'll send me a picture of them, and she'll send me a picture of my daughter's nails, so she'll communicate that with me that she is gonna go get her nails done, and I don't ever have any negative criticism about that as to her doing that.
Parenting wise, how do you feel you and Miss Gonzalez get along?
Objection, irrelevance.
Overruled. I'll allow it.
We get along pretty well. We usually communicate, about stuff, events that we have going on or that the kids have going on. We'll talk about their behaviors, things that they've done that needs to be addressed, and she'll explain to me that she, wants me to address certain things with whether it be my son or my daughter, um, and I will address those things. So we communicate pretty regularly, and we exchange pictures with our kids pretty often. So I feel like we communicate well in that aspect.
I'll pass the witness.
No, no further questions. I would just ask that the court take judicial notice of our counter petition filed specifically page 8, item 18, about interim attorney's fees and support. But I don't have any other questions.
Taking judicial notice of the entire court's file, and particularly page 8 of the counter petition that includes paragraph 18, a request for interim attorney's fees and temporary support. All right, Ms. Harkins, do you have any other witnesses to call in rebuttal?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I believe closing arguments are in order. You may begin, Ms. Harkins.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. And Judge, what Ms. Cutter just brought your attention to, I knew that. I see that in there, but my client doesn't know about it. When I asked him about it, he doesn't know that she had asked for interim attorney's fees and temporary support because that was never brought up. It was never addressed. We never came to court on it. And so my client has proceeded for the last, since July of 2023, so over 2 years, believing that the financial setup was sufficient based on my instruction, leave everything as it is, and not another word was heard about it until the last day in a day. And so now, Judge, I didn't actually hear a number that Ms. Gonzalez is asking for in retro. I'm assuming they just want you to take this figure that my client has agreed to and multiply it by the months. And Judge, to do that, not only is that inaccurate, calculation wise, because my client testified that he was not making the same amount. He's had a big promotion since then. But also, Judge, to me, to a large extent, it's double dipping into what he's making and what she's had access to. And then on top of that, adding in the child support. Ms. Cutter gave you a small snapshot of November, but Judge, we have obviously over 2 years of information where, my client testified that he was giving her a substantial amount every month. And you heard from Ms. Gonzalez that she had full access to the account where both of their paychecks went into. Judge, you didn't hear any testimony of my client going and blowing money in Vegas, that my client went and got his own apartment, that he bought a new car. In fact, what you heard is that Ms. Gonzalez got a new car and my client co-signed for it while this was pending. And Judge, also, I put on the record that my client has agreed to 50% of his retirement for the duration of the marriage, which is most of his job history, going to Ms. Gonzalez. This case has pended for so long. that, you know, he's not asking that that be backdated to the date of separation. He's willing to give her that. So then for Ms. Cutter to state that my client is financially controlling, I don't see how the facts support that. And I want to point out that Ms. Cutter said that. Ms. Gonzalez did not say that. Ms. Cutter led her when she said, your husband's financially controlling. Would you agree with me? Those aren't Ms. Gonzalez's words. Those are Ms. Cutter's. And so on the one hand, they want to argue that my client doesn't have a close relationship with his kids and he's never there. And then on the other, Ms. Gonzalez says it's hurtful for them to live so close to him because they want to be with him. They want to see him all the time. And so, Judge, there's just conflicting testimony. And the bottom line is that my client has given her full access, provided support for the family, and this would absolutely financially devastate him. So we're asking that you take that into consideration. And obviously, retroactive support is discretionary to the court. So we're just asking for something that's fair. And so my client's asking that you don't order that. And then he will obviously pay the spousal maintenance that's ordered and begin his child support payments. Thank you.
Closing
Okay.
argument, Ms. Cutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I can't think of a better way to talk about financially controlling than being separated for 2.5 years and having to ask permission to buy a pair of headphones. And she did show he's intimidating, and I am afraid to talk to him about this. And I believe what she testified to was the fact that she can't even get a second job or a part-time job because she's got the majority of the time. And yes, those children very much so love their father, but he's not exercising or seeing them even according to what he wants for a possession schedule. Your Honor, 50% of a community property interest in a retirement account is, honestly, it should probably be a disproportionate share. They've been married 12.5 years now, and she was making $800 a month part-time. I believe that she would have been awarded some spousal maintenance, but she gave you some reasons why. She's afraid of him. Also, she wanted to reconcile because she's been with this man for a very, very long time. The testimony that we did hear, though, was from last month. Last month was the most recent bank statement, and he said, I've always given her at least $1,000 every month, and it turns out after he transferred out money, it was less than $700. He's not supporting her, and she's doing everything she can, and she has been. She went back to school, you know, and she did struggle, but having asked permission to get the kids' haircuts and everything is incredibly controlling and financially devastating.
I'm going to object.
So
That's a
we're gonna-
mischaracterization. Nobody said that she had to get permission to do those things. My client testified that they discussed it, but nobody testified to permission. So I think that's a mischaracterization.
I recall the evidence as it was testified to, and I'll weigh the evidence appropriately. Go ahead, Ms. Cutter.
So, Your Honor, with that being said, and yes, we did ask for it in our pleadings back in 2023. We're asking that the court order retroactive child support, and I did give that number. And now I moved my paper. I'm so sorry. Darn it, I apologize. It's the 1380 and 30 months. We're also asking that the court take into consideration what it would have ordered in spousal maintenance, and the fact that, you know, Dad says, well, I shouldn't have to pay this, but he hasn't brought any actual evidence or proof that he's been substantially providing or even providing within the guideline range for the children, other than him loosely saying, well, I give this per month, without proving it. And her testimony contradicts that. And she said, no, that's not what happened at all.
Well, who's got the burden to prove this retroactive child support?
In my opinion, if he wants credit for it, then he has to show that he paid it. So we are asking that the court award the retroactive child support and then approve and render the divorce.
Okay. And I find I have subject matter jurisdiction and jurisdiction over the parties in this case. I've taken judicial notice of the entire court's file. I find that all prerequisites for a divorce have been met. I found there are grounds for divorce based on insupportability. Therefore, I'm granting the divorce. I'm going to get right to the gist of it. I'm not going to grant any retroactive child support. Here's some reasons. First of all, if you wanted that sort of retroactive child support, we should have been here for temporary orders. This case has been pending for 2 years. To clobber him with 2 years of retroactive child support at the finish line, I think is not fair. So the burden of proof should lie on the mother to prove the retroactive child support. And if I'm going to calculate retroactive child support in this case, I need to figure out what he should have paid minus what he did pay. All I've got is a snapshot of 1 month in last month. There's no way, even if I wanted to calculate the retroactive child support, that I have enough information to do so. So I'm denying the request for retroactive child support. Regarding the agreements of the parties, I'm adopting the agreements of the parties. I'm naming them as joint managing conservators. I'm naming the mother will be the person that has the exclusive right to determine the primary residence of the children and the exclusive right to spend the child support how she sees fit. And I'm also saying that her exclusive right to determine the primary residence of the children will be geographically restricted to Atascosa County or counties contiguous with Atascosa County. Regarding the possession and access of the children, I'm ordering essentially a standard possession order, over the 50-mile standard possession order, with the adjustments that are needed to make it fit the husband's work schedule. Also, all the other little tweaks that y'all had announced on the record: the right of first refusal, electronic communications, loving and caring order, the Children's Bill of Rights, and also with the summer vacation will be week on, week off. I'm ordering the child support as agreed, $1,380.52. That will begin on the first day of January of 2026 and monthly thereafter until the first child emancipates. And then I'm hopefully y'all have a step down number that you're going to plug in for after the first child emancipates. Plug that in there. I'm ordering the father to maintain medical support and dental support through his employer. Anything not covered by the insurance provided by the father will be split 50-50 between the parties. I'm also ordering spousal support as agreed to at $150 biweekly, beginning on December the 19th of 2025. And that will be biweekly thereafter until $42,000 is paid. Is that what I heard?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the 150 spousal maintenance that will begin on January 1 of 6th and continue until when?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. So the agreement had been for him to pay a total of $4,200. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I believe that I'm limited to ordering 5 years of statutory spousal maintenance in this case. So I'm ordering that $150 biweekly beginning on December 19th, 2025 shall be paid biweekly statutory until the termination of 5 years. The remaining balance that is after that 5 years will be contractual spousal maintenance, or I'm not sure if they call it contractual alimony or whatever. But since I can't order it over the 5 years, the remaining, basically the payout on this $42,000 is close to 11 years. So that last 5+ years is going to have to be contractual maintenance. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Regarding the division of property and debts, I'm also finding that the agreements of the parties regarding the division of property. Well, let me go ahead and say that I find that the provisions regarding the children are in the best interest of the children. That's why I'm adopting them. I'm also finding the division of the property and debts as agreed to by the parties. I find that is just, fair, and equitable to both the husband and the wife. Therefore, I'm granting it as requested. I'm granting the husband shall have the marital residence and the mobile home if it's considered separate property, and each spouse will have the vehicle that is currently in their possession, plus any debts that are owed on that vehicle will also be awarded to them. I'm ordering that the husband's retirement will be split 50-50 for the term of the marriage. I'm also finding that all the personal property in the possession of the parties will be their personal property from this point forward. I'm also ordering that any bank accounts in the parties' sole names will be their sole property from this point forward. The joint accounts at Security Services Credit Union, the savings account that ends in 1000 and the checking account that ends in 1071 and the other checking account that ends in 1072. I'm finding that any funds in those accounts will be split 50-50 between the parties, and that is the balance as of today. Any deposits that are made into those accounts after today will be the separate property of the parties. So in other words, if somebody's paycheck lands in there next week, that's the separate property of whoever's paycheck that is. And I think that I've ordered everything. Is there anything that I might have missed?
The only request I had, Judge, and I don't know that either of us asked for it, but in interest of all the parties, is that they be ordered to close those joint bank accounts to prevent all of this future nightmare within the next 60 days. I think that
Yes.
would be prudent.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'd like for them to just get the money out today and close them today. It would be the best way to do it. So that way we don't have to worry about many money trickling in there. But I tried to make some kind of orders that says that if there's any money that trickles in there, that's not community property anymore. That will be the separate property of wherever it came from.
Yes, sir. My other question is, may I be excused? I was supposed to be in Judge Salinas' court and they just called me.
Yes. Okay. Anything else?
Judge, I'll get with Ms. Cutter about entering the order. We have one. We'll have to change it. We'll get together.
Okay. No worries. All right. I wish all y'all the best of luck co-parenting these children, and God bless y'all.
Thank you, Judge. Happy holidays.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, you've got to have some nerve, I guess, to have been completely taken care of. I mean, complete access to the accounts, all of the accounts that you had access to before the split, you had access to after the split. Your rent was paid, your car was paid, your gas was paid, your nails were paid, your haircuts were paid, everything was taken care of out of the accounts that you both put money into. Granted, you both put money into it, but you were supported the entire time, including the little ones. They were supported too the entire time. And you want $44K? For what? For what? That's crazy. Anyway, I think she's just sad. I was gonna say she's a gold digger, but actually I think she's just sad. She's bummed. This is not what she wanted to happen. So that's my opinion anyway. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.